Now let's implement create and listing endpoints for categories, and I will open the category controller here from HTTP controllers and category controller, and as we can see it's auto-generated, and I will start with store endpoint, and in our store category request here I will add a parameter for adding a category for specific restaurant. So I will add restaurant here, restaurant, and make sure it's added here, right? And the same validation rule, I will say this root restaurant user ID must equal to current authenticated user ID, and let's add null safety because it may be a wrong ID. After that, for categories migration here we will add the name, so name must be required and minimum 3 letters, right? And also it may has logo or background or image. Then we can say sometimes image with maximum size here 2 megabyte image. After that, in our method I will say restaurant categories create request save and accept here the image field, right? Let's make it category here. After that I will check, like in the restaurant controller while creating it here, if it has file, let's upload this file or image, right? Here I will use the image uploader helper thread, use image uploader, and let's get our endpoint inside API.php, and here I will create a new group for specific restaurant prefix, and I will say restaurant, it will be dynamic / category and group here function, then root post / and category as array, category controller class using store method. Here our category controller has been imported. After that, let's test it on Postman using new folder. Actually, let's duplicate it here, and then instead of copy it will be category and create, it will be /restaurant / the restaurant ID and category for creating. We have also authentication here, and for this name I will say category A, and let's don't send the image for now, send the request, and this restaurant not found. Let's check our database, restaurant ID number 2, I think it's soft deleted right here. Okay, let's try with another one, 3 for current authenticated user. I will set ID of restaurant 3, create a category for this restaurant, send the request, and return is 200. Okay, back to categories, and if you noticed here category A for restaurant ID 3. Let's try to create for unauthorized restaurant and check the result. So I will use 1, and this action is unauthorized because I am not the owner of this restaurant. This user ID number 10 is the owner of this or the creator of that, right? Let's try with uploading image, check image here, but don't forget to change the folder because here for upload image we save statically in restaurants folder, but let's provide string path here for make it dynamic and using path. And let's fix it also in restaurant controller. Now it accepts 3 parameters, and I will say restaurants. For category also I will say categories, and also for the second parameter I want to create it, or the morph relation will be between categories and image. So I will say category, and in category model here I will use the same relationship morph 1, this one. And now let's upload our image here as an example. Send the request, but let's fix the ID for number 3. And now I think image has been uploaded. Check our categories or storage folder under app, public. Now we have categories, this image, and also it must be in public because we linked them together. Same image here, right? Let's also back a beautiful message like this here, success operation, and return category. Let's test again, success operation, and the return is the category, all done. Now let's list the categories, first using index, and I want to list specific categories for specific restaurant. Let's create a resource for them, PHP artisan, make resource, and name it category resource. And because it will be a public endpoint, I will say category resource here, resource, return array, ID, category ID, this ID, and name this name. And inside our controller, categories equal to category where restaurant ID equal to the parameter here, restaurant ID, and use paginate, specifying 20 per page. After that, return category resource collection categories. Let's check here using list and /3 and list categories for ID number 3. I must create it in our api.php file here and duplicate it. It will be get and use index. Now let's try again. Works perfectly, right? Let's try for ID number 4. We don't have it. Is it deleted? We don't have ID 4 actually. For 5, it has no categories. Great. If you notice also, as I said, these categories anyone can access to it, authenticated or guest. So I will say without middleware again here and try again. ID number 3, anyone can access to this page. Even if I open the browser, I can access without authenticating, right? Let's implement the show endpoint also. Show here, and inside it, instead of collection, I will return a category for specific restaurant. Here, restaurant, and I will say port if restaurant ID not equal to category restaurant ID with 404. Now let's check again, but instead of collection, because it's only one category, I will use make here, back and check again, show category for restaurant ID number 3, and in our database, which category ID, I will use ID number 2, category ID number 2, it belongs also for ID number 3 / category /3, Let's check our route in our api.php, and it must be slash category or without slash category. Check again, returns. For example, this category ID number 1 belongs to restaurant 20. Let's try to use it, and throws 404 not found. So here's quickly create and list. See you next video.